Today's story comes from one of Ed and Lorraine Warren's alleged paranormal investigations. The events you're about to hear are based on witness accounts and the Warrens' own case files, and many of them remain disputed to this day. Massachusetts, sometime in the early 1980s. On a quiet farm outside a small New England town, a man named Maurice Theriault lived alone with his secrets. The locals called him Frenchy. He kept to himself, worked the land, and rarely spoke about his past. But those who knew him best said something inside him had been broken since he was a child. According to later accounts, Maurice claimed his own father had performed strange rituals on him when he was young. Rituals meant, he believed, to invite something in. Whether that story was true or simply the way Maurice made sense of what came later, no one can say for certain. What's documented is that the man who grew up on that farm would go on to become one of the most detailed possession cases in Ed and Lorraine Warren's entire archive. Neighbors say the change crept in slowly at first. Maurice's temper, always a little sour, became something else entirely. Violent, sudden, almost unrecognizable. He started blacking out for hours at a time, waking up in fields far from the house with no memory of how he got there. He told people he'd wake to find his own hands bleeding, scratched as if by something that wasn't there. Those who visited him during this period described it as more than just anger. They said it felt like Maurice's voice had been replaced by something speaking from underneath it. By his own account, and by the accounts of those around him, there were moments Maurice didn't sound like himself at all. Moments where his voice would drop low and unfamiliar, warning anyone nearby to stay away from his house. Eventually, word of the farmhouse reached a local Catholic priest, who reached out to a couple already well known in their field, Ed and Lorraine Warren. By this point, the Warrens had built a reputation investigating cases the church itself was often reluctant to touch. Ed Warren would later say they'd seen anger before, they'd seen mental illness before, but he insisted what they found at the Theriault farm didn't fit either explanation. Lorraine, known for her sensitivity to what she called residual and intelligent energy, said she felt something the moment she stepped onto the property, heavy, watching, as if the house itself was holding its breath. During one of the documented sessions, witnesses claimed Maurice's body began to convulse violently. His voice, they said, dropped into something that no longer sounded human, demanding that everyone leave his house. As the room grew tense, those present say fresh scratch marks appeared across Maurice's skin, 3 lines at a time, as if raked by claws no one could see. The attending priest began reciting prayers of protection, holding a crucifix toward Maurice as the room seemed to grow colder around them. According to the Warrens' own case notes, the temperature in the room dropped sharply during these sessions. Objects on the shelves were said to tremble, and at the height of it, witnesses claimed Maurice's eyes rolled back completely white, his body straining against the chair as if something else was trying to take control of it. Ed Warren would later say he didn't take any of it lightly, that what he witnessed in that farmhouse stayed with him long after the investigation ended. The sessions with the Warrens and the local priest reportedly continued for months. Maurice's case eventually became one of the most extensively documented possession files in the Warrens' collection, later chronicled in the book Satan's Harvest. Maurice Theriault carried the story with him for the rest of his life. Some believe he was simply a troubled man, failed by a difficult childhood and an even harder life. Others believe every detail the Warrens recorded. To this day, no one has offered a definitive explanation for what really happened inside that farmhouse. This has been one of the lesser-known files from the Warren archive, a story pieced together from witness testimony, case notes, and a book that still divides everyone who reads it. Whether you believe it or not, somewhere in Massachusetts, that farmhouse is still standing.